Hey there, guys. Thanks for joining us live. If you are watching this after we are done with it, thank you for at least watching, and make sure that you still leave me some comments because we can see those. My guest and I can see those, and we'll come back and comment after you and have a little conversation. But if you're here, let us know. It'll be awesome to have you share in this conversation that I have with my most awesome guest today. In case you haven't figured it out, I'm Sandra Dee, the creator of Charismatic Cowgirl. And part of Charismatic Cowgirl's emphasis is really to help build very strong feminine leaders, strong confidence, strong relationship skills, strong leadership skills, and compassionate strength. All of those things are encompassed in my guest that I have today. So she's going to give us some great advice. We were just talking about this before we came on how we can get out of our heads and into our bodies, and how that movement is actually going to help us be better leaders for our business, our family, and our community. So let me tell you a little bit about her. So as we just discussed, confidence is really directly boosted by our connection and our appreciation of our femininity. So Sohailia Handlesman, as you'll see on her lower third here, it says Zyba, she'll correct me in a second, and that is her working name as a dancer. So she is the founder of Sensational You belly dance fitness programs and Nouveau dance fitness classes. She's the author of 2 books on Middle Eastern dance, and she has danced for some of the most exclusive audiences in the world. Don't worry, I'll pull some of those stories out of her. Today, she's going to share how what she teaches can actually help all women leaders. So Helia, thank you for joining. I'm so glad that you're here, my friend.
Thank you. And, it's such an honor to be here speaking with you today. It's all about confidence. It's about empowering all women, and that's what we're here to do.
Exactly. Now, before we go any further, you do have to share a little bit about your story. So you weren't just a belly dancer, but you have belly danced for some of the most exclusive audiences in the world. You want to just tell us a little bit? It's juicy.
Sure. Okay. Well, I started when I was 12 years old, and I became a belly dance entrepreneur. That's what I call myself. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I was going to be a dance artist. In fact, I wanted to be a cop all my life. I started with being a sheriff explorer and going through college for criminal justice. But, just things happened. I went to take that sheriff exam down by the port of San Diego, and I came back 2 hours later. My mom said, well, how was it? And I said, I couldn't find the building. So no. I think it was fate. She says, what do you think you can find it? It's pink. I believe there was something more. Yeah, and I'm not colorblind. So, I was devastated because I really thought that was going to be my career all my life. But given that, I was actually dancing 5 years prior to that, and that kept me going. And lo and behold, I actually got my first international phone call to come and dance in Mexico City. And I went down there and I danced for a very well-known prominent restaurant called Adoni's Restaurant in Polanco in Mexico City. And I was their house dancer for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then the Middle East component, though. I know that you've written a couple of books of Middle Eastern dance. So where does the Middle East component pop in?
So in 1989, I got a chance to go to Egypt to dance there for the first time. And after dancing there, it's like, oh my God, this is it. This is really where I want to be. And so in 1990, I got a chance to go and be one of the top dancers for a very prominent singer called Sabah. And I was there for 3 years performing with her and her husband and her troupe. So it was a lot of fun. And then throughout there, I went all throughout the Middle East. I was in Egypt, Dubai, Syria, Jordan, Greece. I was in, Europe, just all over the place, working for the best parties you can imagine. I was in Paris and dancing for prominent dignitaries and sheikhs. A lot of fun.
This seems very glamorous and so out of touch for some of us. We just think that's so above and beyond anything that we can imagine. But you brought what you learned from those experiences and what you were honing into the world of the everyday woman where you live in San Diego, right? So you're actively teaching private and public classes and even online courses. You host DVDs and Sohailia TV and a bunch of things so that you can really entice women to accept their femininity and really get into movement. I have been in rooms where you have had business women stand up in their suits and start moving their hips around. And it's amazing at what changes in that room. So tell us a little bit about how movement and dance can actually help us to increase our confidence.
Well, you know, when I started teaching in Europe and the Middle East more, as well as, of course, performing, I noticed that, you know, getting these women back in touch with themselves through their own five senses and bringing out their self-confidence, their self-esteem, I came back with something so new and exciting that, oh my gosh, I have something there. I correlated their own five senses with ancient belly dance moves to empower women. And so that's why I started the Sensual Woman. And to me, it's so empowering to get these beautiful women moving their bodies in ways that maybe they've done before, or maybe they never have ever tried to, or they forgot. But literally moving their bodies and living them just to the fullest. I mean, bringing out their self-confidence. I get a lot of women that are CEOs in my class, and they feel like they have to have that macho mentality, you know, to be
masculine, like a masculine. Because it's a masculine environment a lot of times. Is that why?
Exactly. And I let them know, you know, you could be feminine, you could be beautiful, you could be that beautiful woman and still empowered and still being that CEO of your company. You don't have to feel that masculinity all the time. And so what I do is I bring that. Therefore, you know, they get back to work, they feel feminine and confident. And if they don't, what they do is they take the moves that I teach them and they change it. They literally do it a couple minutes and they go back to feeling just beautiful again.
So they can prep themselves for an important meeting by tapping into that movement that you show them. So what would be, for the ladies that are watching, what would be a symptom of losing connection with their body and losing connection, like you were talking about, that femininity? How do we know that maybe we need that? How do we know we need you?
Well, first of all, we're always thinking about everyone else but us, right? We think about the dogs, we think about the animals, we think about the husband, we think about the boyfriend, we think about everyone else but ourselves. We don't put me time on our schedule. And it's time to put me time on your schedule. And I call that the mind experience on your schedule, because that's what it is. I mean, getting in touch with your mind and through those experiences, this is where you could bring your self-confidence. This is where you could bring your self-esteem up. This is where you could bring that beauty back into yourself. And so where you could find it is you're really getting tired of life. You know, you've lost touch with yourself. You've lost that femininity. You know, you feel like, just blah. That's when you know you have to come to me. So I can help you get that back in you.
So I think one of the things that we talk about with the Charismatic Cowgirl events and the programs is that our brain is not just here in our head. We have neurons throughout our whole body, and our heart has 40,000. It's throughout our intestines. I mean, we have a mind-body connection. So to just ignore our bodies is when I think we can get into what you just described. Is that's
what it is.
Really good. So when you call this time like the mind connection time, it makes sense because it's not just here. Usually, women leaders have no problem being here, right? It's actually getting all of that back on board. So what are some tips that you can give us as we're, you know, I've got to watch the time and I want to honor everybody that's online because I know that we're all busy, especially this time of year. What are some tips that you can give us to, first of all, thank you for the first one, that if we're feeling blah and we're, you know, we're up in our head all the time, then we may need to get into motion. What are some tips that you can give us that we can actually get some movement in or know to get up from the chair? What's some advice you can give us?
Okay, so what I want everybody to do is, what you could do is close your eyes. You could actually close your eyes and take yourself back into the most beautiful place that you've ever been to. Maybe it was on that vacation. Maybe it was just at home, but you're feeling relaxed and just feeling beautiful. You need to go back to that place. You know, sometimes we can't just go on that vacation. Well, we can, because we can close our eyes and get back there anytime we want, believe it or not. And so that's what I try to have women do. And that's what I do in my retreats and my Sensual Woman programs, I get them back to that state of being on that beautiful vacation. Maybe it was on a beach in Tahiti. Maybe it was in the mountains or the desert, you know, sipping that pina colada. Who knows? But you know where that vacation is.
We do.
You want to see yourself there.
Because
then what we do,
we feel sexy then.
Exactly. But wait, then there's more. So what I do, but wait, there's more. So then what I do is I get them in that realm, and then I let them hold themselves there. Okay. And if we had more time, I'd really hone into this, but you would get my point now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually step back and literally show you this beautiful move that I want everybody to do. So if you're out there, get up with me, okay? I'm going to move my chair here.
I can't get
up with me.
I'm going to do this later.
Okay, yeah. So in back of me is my dance studio, by the way. So I'm going to actually step back so you can actually see at least what I'm doing in my torso here. So as you see yourself in that beautiful vacation area, that realm, you're going to add this movement and to play with it. So what I like to do is one hip circle, okay? And this makes you feel very sexy. You're going to keep your knees slightly bent, keep that pelvic tucked under, and you always want to stay lifted. You're going to take your hip, drop it down to the ground. You're going to take it as if it's going around in a circle. Take it to the back, lift it up to the ceiling and back to the front. So you're making a big circle here. And see, you want to move now, right? See,
I'm trying to do it while I'm seated, yes.
There you go, lift it up now. And you could actually do some moves while you're sitting as well, which I'll show you after. So you're going to concentrate on this circular motion with the move. But wait, there's more. We're going to take your left hand, if your right leg is up, your left hand, put it in back of the nape of the neck, just like this. And now you're starting to look sexy already, right? So lift it up. Now you're going to take the other hand and put it in back of that hip very softly. And now you're going to do the same thing. You're going to look down at the hip and then look up. Look down, look up. So I do want everybody to watch themselves in the mirror doing this, because then you could seduce yourself.
I was just going to say, I feel like I'm being seduced. So that's perfect.
Exactly. So that's what you want to do. So this literally gives you some instant just power right there, just doing a simple move, but yet so amazingly beautiful. So, and you do want to do it on the other side as well.
Yeah, I figured you want to balance out.
Definitely. So, that's just one of the many moves. That's one of my favorite moves, actually, that I do. To me, it makes me feel sensual. It makes me feel beautiful. And it just brings me back to my self-confidence, my exuberance, just literally just comes out.
You always have that, though. You always have that exuberance and that confidence. And when you think about people that are dancers, I mean, I just watched, it's bizarre, this week, without even realizing that you were coming on, I've had several occasions where I've watched dancers of an older age, that have still been dancing. And one woman, I sent you a clip of a woman that was 102.
103. She's amazing.
Still had this confidence in this like just this feeling of being so present and just so extremely beautiful. And I think that it's just one of those things you don't have to quit doing even when you get older. Obviously, exactly. 103. So
I know, right? I hope to be 103 and still dancing.
Exactly. That's why I sent it to you. I'm like, you'll appreciate this. So let's strive to be her. And so Sohailia, we have to go because we're running out of time, but I want to just let people know where they can find you, because I know you do great retreats and you do those things. It wouldn't be fair if we didn't let people know where to find you. So
I do. In fact, I have a retreat coming up in January, the end of January. So yeah, so you could go to sohailiainternational.com, and that's SOHAILA international.com. We'll have it down.
Yeah. Awesome.
So yeah, please, anytime, give me a call if anybody wants to have a free consultation with me to see if this is right for you, my programs, or jump aboard, come to my classes. I do have a member hub that for people that can't be in California with me, I have this exclusive member hub that women around the world could take my classes.
Hey, that's pretty cool. I like that. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate. I'm looking down like you guys know that I'm looking at you. I'm looking at the comment section. So thank you guys for being here live with us. I really appreciate it. And I just want you to feel empowered. And at this time of year, when all we want to do is eat, maybe we should think about getting a little movement in there as well.
Definitely. Move your body. Move your body. It'll give you instant happiness right there.
Because I think See, it's cold here. I'm all bundled up, and I was telling her I just want to sit in front of the fireplace with hot cocoa, but instead, thanks to Sohailia, I'm off to the gym. Yay. Thank you.
That's great.
Dance at the gym. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Have an awesome evening. And if you're watching this later, make sure that you leave us some comments because we can still see those later and it matters. And we will write back to you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.